Hey, I'm David Fredrickson, creator and writer of The Collector's Cycle. So, The Collector's Cycle was inspired by a poem that I actually wrote like 10 years ago when I was working at Ernie November. And I basically wrote a poem about a child who was neglected, and in order to get through that neglect, they created a item in their mind that was actually responsible for it rather than blaming their parent. And that kind of evolved into what this became. At least it was the inspiration for the first three songs. The Collector's Cycle definitely did evolve throughout the writing's process, and the idea of the collector evolved along with it. I wrote these songs kind of sequentially, but they started from the idea that this person had created something from nothing, something that didn't exist, in order to buffer themselves from their father and to create this safe space. That person moved on to try and save their father, and in the process took the stone and realized that they could collect his soul with the stone, and moved on to take on the souls of everybody else. So they became the collector. The father's emotions were kind of hard to channel at times. I personally am raising a family and try to be an understanding and open father and patient. That's the hardest part, but the father in this story is none of those things. The father in this story actually spends time telling the child that he did not want this and would much prefer his mother. And so it is hard to channel that at times, especially when trying to write lyrics from his point of view. At its core, this is more or less just a rock album, so you're gonna have drums, guitar, bass, vocals obviously, but the whole thing was more or less an excuse for me to play my keyboard and work on my synthesizer skills, especially playing them with a band. So the real core for me was trying to get that songwriting down and then attaching that to the music that I already knew how to write. I started this album with the intent to try and involve as many other local musicians as I could. Kind of failed in every aspect aside from the drums. I worked with 3 different drummers on this album. They kind of split the songs up mostly evenly, and that kind of gave the album a breathing effect. It allowed it to go up and down and change because I actually used different musicians to create the heartbeat for each song. I actually started working on other music before I even really finished this album. Kind of slowed things down, but I think it was worth it. I'm trying to make music that I can play with other local musicians and hopefully make an album that, while not a concept album, still shares a lot of different aspects of what I can do and different aspects of what we can do and the music we can play. Those words are short, different, and meaningful.